A wise man once told me that our lives are not unlike an empty jar. As we go along, the jar has to get filled with huge rocks, gravel, and sand. And these things represent the things that we need to get done, the things that are our obligations. Sand are the things that end up taking our time but are of little importance. Gravel are the things that we are obligated to do, and boulders are the things that have meaning and foundation in our life that we want to do and actually are our goals. Now, if we try to fill our life as full as we can, starting with sand, there will be no room for the gravel and the boulders. If we fill it all with gravel and then with sand, the gravel will be on the bottom, the sand will go on top and in between, but there will be no room for the boulders. So the only way that we can successfully fill our lives full and get everything in that we need to do is to first put in the boulders and prioritize them, then put in the gravel, and then allow the sand to fill in the cracks in between. So, what is a system that can allow us to fill our jar full?
Making lists is very limiting because basically what happens with most people is they make a list and they feel like they're getting things done, but there's only two states of all of the things that they have to do, and that's done and not done. And what we tend to do is we tend to make up things, again, that we can do to keep us from doing the things that we really need to do. Because the fact is that a lot of the things that are goals for us are challenges. Otherwise, they wouldn't be something to reach for, and they're something that we would do easily. So in order to prioritize your time, instead of making lists that are either done or undone and checking down each day as to whether you've done things or not, whether mentally or on a physical list, I would recommend that once a month you make a list of everything that you need to do, and more importantly, a list of your larger boulder type goals. So here we see start a business and pay off debt are some really big goals. And we see them also here in this list. My apologies for the focus. So what we can do instead is we can use the power of a quadrant. And when we use quadrants, suddenly we have more than two states of done and undone. In this first quadrant here, we have things that are important and urgent. So if we look back at our list and we ask ourselves what's important and urgent, well, we can't do any work if we don't fix the computer first. So I can simply put a 1 in quadrant 1. Applying for an LLC is definitely going to be urgent, but doesn't have to happen at this time. There is no time constraint to do it. So things that fall in quadrant 2 tend to be important and non-urgent. But those types of things tend to be the most self-improving in your life. They're the things that basically will help you as a person to grow and evolve. Reading The Power of Now, the same thing. Or reading anything, learning anything, usually falls in quadrant number 2. Watching TV, however, is not important and it's not urgent. So these types of activities are activities that we want to minimize or eliminate. Buying new shoes, well, it may seem urgent right now, but if it's really the truth, if we ask ourselves, we realize that it's both urgent, not important and not urgent. So that is something as well that we can put into quadrant 4. Researching our competition, probably the sooner we do that, the sooner we can feel more competent in starting our business. So that is indeed urgent. Starting to pay debt, that's also urgent because it's one of our big goals. And working out, something that's going to improve us. So what is quadrant 3 for? Quadrant 3, not important events that are also urgent, are basically things that you can delegate to other people. They may seem urgent, they may be emails, they may be things that other people want from you, but they don't necessarily fall into your goals. So this is something that you can do no matter how many things that you have to do every month. You can come up with a quadrant And then basically what you do is you work your way through the quadrant with the mindset that everything in quadrant 1 needs to be done first before I can do things in quadrant 2. Quadrant 3, if I get to it, I get to it. In quadrant number 4, when I need a break, perhaps I'll do some of those things, or I'll realize that they're non-essential and cut them out of my life so that I can have more time to achieve my goals.